Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something that, well, a lot of people feel but maybe can't quite put their finger on. It's that intersection of attraction, confidence,
Right.
and maybe a bit of Stoic thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And we're using some really focused source material today. It breaks down what it calls the 9 mistakes smart men make with women.
Right.
And the core idea, the promise here, is pretty powerful. These aren't just, behavioral slips. They're like leaks in your own value system.
Leaks, okay.
And once you really see them, understand them. The material says they become unseeable. You start noticing them in yourself and others, and that awareness, it can really shift the power dynamics. It's almost like a shortcut to grounded self-respect.
And that's really the mission for you listening to this deep dive. So
Yeah.
many capable, smart men, they're actually chipping away at their own value without even knowing it, often by trying to be, nice.
Yeah.
Attentive, but they end up making these 9 key mistakes, basically handing over their authority. So we're going to unpack those traps, understand the sort of internal foundation you need to avoid them. Okay, let's jump straight in. The first big category here is this trap of insecurity and, well, overinvesting, starting with mistake number 1, a real classic. Never explain yourself too much.
Oh, yeah. This one screams insecurity. Think about it, right? That feeling you have to justify why you took 2 hours to text back.
Right.
Or explaining every single move, every decision, almost like you need permission to live your own life. The source calls it launching into the novel of excuses.
I think we've all been there or seen it. That's sort of panic defense. Why is it so bad for confidence?
Well, because when you over-explain, you're basically making her the judge of your time, your choices. You're signaling, without meaning to, that your own judgment isn't enough. That you need her, real confidence. It's just stating your decision or your position once with conviction and then moving on.
No defense needed.
Exactly. Launching into justifications, it just smells like you're afraid of losing her approval, and boom, you've just handed the power over.
So it's not just about being brief, it's about clarity, self-possession.
Precisely. And it's a double-edged sword, this over-explaining. It kills mystery, which is, often part of initial attraction. But it also kind of kills clarity, because constantly justifying can actually sound like you are hiding something. Just keep it simple. Now, this connects really deeply to the bedrock of internal reliance, which brings us to mistake number 7. This one's foundational. Never make her the source of your happiness.
Oof. Yeah, the source material is pretty blunt about this one. It says, essentially, if your whole emotional world depends on her, if she's the only reason you're smiling, then eventually she'll be the reason you're broken.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
It is heavy, but it's necessary wisdom, I think. Look, if you build your entire emotional house on something external, something conditional like a relationship, that relationship becomes fragile, a liability almost.
Instead of an asset.
Right. Smart men, they build happiness from the inside out. Through discipline, their mission, even solitude. Their well-being doesn't swing wildly based on her mood that day or whether she paid attention to them.
And what happens when a guy does make her the center? What does that look like?
He becomes emotionally volatile, needy, and here's the real paradox. The more emotionally self-sufficient you are, the more internally solid. The more magnetic you actually become.
Interesting.
Neediness repels. It's like a constant drain. Wholeness attracts because it signals stability. She's meant to add to your life, add joy, add meaning to a life that's already full. She isn't supposed to be the meaning itself.
Okay, so if happiness comes from within, then it follows that you need to know where your responsibility ends,
Right.
which leads straight into that parental trap. Mistake number 4, never try to fix her.
Yes, and this is where that Stoic connection really clicks in. When a woman is maybe moody or seems to be self-sabotaging or just dealing with chaos, the typical male instinct is often jump in, analyze, solve, fix it.
Yeah.
But the moment you try to fix her, you instantly slide into a parent role.
And that kills attraction, according to the source. But wait, what about just supporting her? Isn't that important? How do you draw that line?
That's the key distinction. And the line is sort of like the Stoic dichotomy of control. Support means being present, listening, offering comfort maybe.
Okay.
Fixing means trying to manage things that are fundamentally outside your control. Her choices, her feelings, her internal stuff.
Yeah.
When you try to fix her problems, you basically take ownership of chaos that isn't yours to carry.
Yeah, so being stoic here isn't about being cold or distant.
Not at all. It's about clarity. Being clear on what's yours to deal with and what's hers. The source puts it nicely. She needs a man who is rooted enough not to get pulled into her storm. That's real support. Staying grounded, staying in your frame, while giving her the space and dignity to figure out her own path.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about managing the actual dynamics, the relational dance itself. Starting with mistake number 2. Don't chase, ever. Okay, this one can be confusing. People hear don't chase and think it means just be passive, sit back. But surely you need some effort to connect with someone valuable, right? How do you square don't chase with, pursuing someone?
That's a really important point. And the distinction is critical. Pursuit. That's effort with direction. You lead, you plan dates, you initiate because you value your time and you value hers. It shows intent.
Okay.
Chasing, though, that's reactive. It's desperate motion, usually when things feel like they're slipping. It's the double texting when she goes quiet, begging for her time when she says she's busy, always being the one reaching out like 100% of the time with no energy coming back.
So chasing sounds like it comes from a place of fear of loss.
Absolutely. And women, often subconsciously, they test this. They pull back a little to see, does this guy stand firm or does he crumble? Does he stay on his square? When you chase, you fold instantly. And every time you do that, you're basically teaching her to value you less because you're proving you'll scramble just to keep her attention. Smart men, they lead. They pursue if the energy feels mutual. But if it doesn't, they pull back smoothly. Focus on their own mission. They know their value isn't dependent on her immediate response.
Okay, moving from the action of chasing to information. That brings us to pacing and vulnerability. Mistake number 3, don't reveal your whole life too soon. We've all seen this, right? You meet someone, chemistry feels good, and bam, first weekend you've told them everything. Childhood stuff, the messy breakup, your biggest fears, your 10-year plan.
Yeah, the info dump. That's not real intimacy building. It's just dumping. Intimacy is supposed to be a slow burn, something earned. A dance, not a floodlight, as the source says. There's a strong warning against this because, frankly, mystery matters.
But why? Why does spilling everything too fast create discomfort instead of bringing you closer? Seems counterintuitive.
Because you skip the vital step of earning trust. You haven't built that foundation yet. Oversharing creates this intense emotional pressure on the other person. It's like saying, here's all my baggage, please hold it for me right now. That kind of pressure, it doesn't usually breed attraction. It makes people want to step back, take a breath.
So the strategy is more like strategic reveals, piece by piece.
Exactly. Let her lean in. Let her get curious. Let her earn the next chapter of your story. When you reveal less at once, paradoxically, your truth becomes more valuable because she's actively investing her time and curiosity to uncover it. All right, final mistake in this section, number 6. This one's about social dynamics. Don't compete for her attention.
Oh, this is such a clear sign of a weak internal frame, isn't it? You can almost picture it.
Yeah.
You're at a party, maybe she's talking to someone else for a minute, and suddenly you feel that urge, got to tell a louder joke, make a bigger gesture, pull focus back.
Yeah, that overcompensation. And the cost is huge because the second you start competing like that, you're basically admitting you see yourself as less than the person she's talking to.
Ouch.
You're scrambling to prove you're worthy of her attention. You've turned her into the judge and yourself into some kind of contestant vying for the prize.
And real value, genuine confidence, doesn't need to scramble.
Yeah.
It just exists.
Correct. Real value has presence. It commands attention without demanding it. The smart man in that situation, he stays centered, unmoved, internally focused. He lets her talk to the bartender, lets her attention drift for a moment. Why? Because his self-worth isn't tied to her constant gaze. And trust me, she notices the guy who's the calm eye of the storm, the one who doesn't flinch when her attention wanders briefly, that kind of grounded presence that's far more magnetic than any desperate loud joke.
Okay, moving into our third and final section now. This is all about maintaining your frame, your standards. And mistake number 5 feels really core to masculine energy. Don't neglect your purpose for her.
Yeah, this is that slippery slope where respect goes to die. You meet someone amazing, and because maybe you're already making her the source of your happiness, that was mistake #7, remember?
Right.
You start letting your own anchors drift. Gym sessions get skipped. That business idea you were pushing, it slows down. Suddenly, your whole world seems to revolve around her schedule, her availability.
She might like all that attention at first,
Yeah.
but the source is really clear. Deep down, she loses respect for it. Why is that?
Because purpose is like oxygen for respect, especially in this dynamic. A woman is often drawn to a man with direction, his purpose, his mission, whatever it is, that's the non-negotiable anchor in his life.
Okay.
When he starts sacrificing that mission for her, he's essentially signaling he has no core direction, that he's easily swayed. And fundamentally, that makes him seem unable to lead. Partners look for security. And a man without a core purpose feels, well, insecure by definition.
So the dynamic flips from attractive leader to easily distracted follower.
Exactly that. The key isn't to exclude her, but to make her a part of your life, an addition to the path you're already on, not the path itself. When a man has something bigger than just the relationship to chase his mission, his craft, his growth, she often ends up chasing him.
Okay, next up, something inevitable in relationships. Tests. Mistake number 8. Don't react emotionally to her tests.
This directly tests that mountain we talked about, your internal stability. Look, women test. It's often not even conscious. They do it because they need to feel your strength, your groundedness. They're basically asking deep down, can this man handle my storms? Can he stay solid even when I push back or get emotional?
Okay, so what does failing that test look like in practice?
It looks like getting triggered easily, snapping back, arguing from a place of insecurity, letting her mood swings completely dictate your own emotional state. You fail the test the moment you react emotionally because you've just proved she has external control over your internal state.
And the successful response. How do you pass the test?
You observe, you breathe, you respond only when it's actually necessary and always with control. You show her, as the source puts it, that her emotional waves don't move your mountain. You stay still, calm, grounded. It's not about being some emotionless robot. It's about showing your foundation is solid, unshakable.
All right, and that brings us to the final point, mistake number 9. Never apologize for your standards.
Yeah, and let's be clear. Standards aren't about demanding perfection. They're about alignment. Defining what's non-negotiable for your peace, your vision of a healthy relationship. Maybe that's loyalty. Maybe it's respect, consistency, a lack of unnecessary drama. Smart men don't demand a perfect partner, but they absolutely require alignment with their core values.
The challenge here, though, as the material points out, is that sometimes society or even potential partners might try to shame you for having high standards, call you demanding or insecure or unrealistic.
And that external pressure, that's the final test, really. Holding the line. Real men, confident men, they hold that line because their peace, their self-respect is sacred. They don't lower their standards just to appease someone else or avoid being alone. If someone consistently doesn't meet those reasonable standards, the strong move is to walk away, calmly, clearly, without blowing up or getting resentful. Just knowing that your self-respect is worth more than settling for something that doesn't align.
So when we pull back and look at all 9 of these, from explaining every text delay right through to neglecting your mission, they all seem to circle back to one core issue, don't they? It's about seeking validation externally instead of building it internally.
Absolutely. This whole framework, these 9 points, it's really a shortcut, not just for better relationships, actually, but for recognizing and building your own genuine value. The real point of adopting a Stoic mindset in this context isn't about being emotionless, it's about self-possession.
Self-possession.
Yeah, being so rooted in who you are, what you're about, what your mission is, that you don't actually need her constant attention or approval or even her presence to feel whole and worthy. And ironically, that internal foundation, that's what makes you truly secure and, yeah, powerfully attractive.
Okay, so here's the final thought we want to leave you with today, something to chew on. If you genuinely stop trying so hard to win attention or get approval from anyone, really, what's the one single concrete action you could take right now, maybe this afternoon, to strengthen your own mountain? Your purpose, your discipline, your internal peace. That's the real challenge these 9 mistakes bring into focus.